Marlon, ready to eat?
Yeah.
What would you like to eat?
Fries.
Hot French fries?
Fries with ketchup.
Nothing like hot French fries,
With
right?
ketchup, cuz fries without ketchup are not fries, right? Do you guys
No.
agree?
Exactly. So sit down, let me tell you something else that just reminds me of relationships.
Ah!
Have a seat, boy. It's time to talk. Let's have the talk. Good morning and happy Monday, Optimites. It's your boy Alvin and Marlon here, back for a brand new video. So I hope you like the intro. Relationships are like French fries.
Just call me the French fry boy for today. Just for today, though.
So how do you like your French fries?
Double crispy, please.
Yeah, and just for the record, you should try like mayo mixed with ketchup. It's
Mayo
so good.
ketchup.
Yeah,
Puerto Ricans do that. My best friend, he's Puerto Rican.
and this is what I grew up with in Montreal. But America came out with this bottle now that we've been doing for years. You can buy it at the store. So that is not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to talk about relationships because we know with spring, we've been talking about new blood, new energy, all that. So you're putting yourself out there, right? You're meeting people, you're making connections. That's the hope, to keep making these connections. So relationships are like French fries because when they're good, they're so good. Especially when they're hot, crispy like you like them, what we're discussing. But what happens when they got cold and they arrive to your table cold? Or they start off fresh and they change?
What happens if you left them in your car for like 20 minutes by mistake and you live in a place where it's cold?
And you made an accident and that your fries were cold. By the way, that happened to me. I come from the Arctic. Yeah, so basically, like if it's going well, it's going well. If it's not going well, it's not going well. So, what is your take on that?
Well, I say my take is that that's very true, especially when it comes. It doesn't have to be just like a relationship, that you're in love with somebody and couple up with them, but it also has to do with relationships in general, friendships. Relationship with your family members, relationship with coworkers, all kinds of relationships apply to this.
Yeah, not just romantic relationships. When we're talking about relationships, we're talking about connections with everyone.
So let's say you leave those fries and they get cold and you start to eat them, you're gonna eat them and kind of like settle for them because, well, guess what? They're fries, right? And guess what else? I don't have a microwave around me to heat
I
them
was
up.
just gonna say that.
Right? So what happens? I'm settling for this cold, nasty fries that I know that they're nasty, but yet I'm eating them because they provide some sort of satisfaction, but not a full satisfaction.
Exactly. So, just like that, you have to take care and nurture the relationships that you meet. Now, you don't go from 0 to 100 overnight. When it comes to actual relationships, how many times have you met someone thinking that, oh wow, we have stuff in common, this seems all great. And then you meet in real life, say you met, it was an online connection, and then it's not what you thought it was going to be. So now what do?
Walk away. Run.
What if you can't walk away
Leave
sometimes?
the dates. You pay for the date. No, I'm kidding.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Don't. We are not saying to do that. No. No.
To be real, what happens is, and I've seen it on friends, it's happened to me. People fall in love with the idea that they have of that person. They don't fall in love with the real person.
Right.
There's
Exactly.
a difference because if you can form yourself the idea of this person being an ideal friend, an ideal partner, an ideal coworker, but in reality, once you go to the root of it, they're not.
Exactly. And if you've been following our videos in this last year, we're about to hit, we were in the year of COVID, and what have we been trying to say? Getting to know yourself. Because if you don't get to know yourself and all the things that make you who you are, forget what everyone else thinks. It's you getting to know who you are. What makes you smile? What makes you angry? If you don't know yourself, or work through the issues of your past that you bring into your future life, even when you're by yourself in your house, you don't want to take this bad energy onto a new relationship, whether it's an acquaintance, a friendship, or a relationship. And I'm sure you've had these conversations as well.
So first, let me ask you something. What's the rush?
What is the rush? Some people say they have to get married by 30. Some say that they want to do other
I
things.
used to be like that.
But there's not one size fits all, Marlon.
Exactly.
That's my
So
point.
my question to you is, what's the rush? Number two, do you know yourself good enough? Do you know what you want in a partner? Because you can have this list of the perfect partner, the perfect friend, the perfect business partner, whatever kind of relationship might be. You might have a list of them, but let me tell you something. Do you have a list for your own self?
That is a good.
What about being my ideal self first before asking to have an ideal person by me?
Mhm.
Because what happens if I can't love myself, and you probably heard this 1,000 times, if I can't love myself, then how can I love someone else?
Exactly, and I laughed because once upon a time, like many people, I had a list. And then after you're young, you don't know, this is your 20s, and then you grow from that and you realize I made something along the line, something changed, and I said, you know what? It's time to become the person I want to meet, because hopefully the person you meet actually has stuff that in common that you like to do.
Right.
You don't want to be like sitting there and be bored or put to sleep, or vice versa. But just like that, there's also compromise that you have to be open to learning stuff from the other person. It doesn't mean that you're going with all the answers. We don't all have all the answers, and it's okay to say, you know what, this is what I think it is, but please correct me if I'm wrong. And it's if you allow yourself to be a little bit vulnerable, which is the scary part, that is where magic can happen. But it's scary. So it comes together, if you think about it. So French fries are like relationships because let me tell you, they have that moment, especially in your cheat days, if you choose to have French fries, and you devour it, you enjoy all of it. But they're not always going to be crispy. They're not always going to be hot and fresh. You can come home and be like, where are my fries? They're missing from my order. That has happened to me. I'm sure that has happened to you. So things don't always go as planned, but it's how you deal with the after effects and you deal with the future. And that begins with the present and yourself. So you need to think about these things. And this was a topic that was brought upon by a mutual friend of ours that sent us a quote, and we thought about it. And, you and I have been talking about that, the experiences of going through this process, meeting people. It's exhausting. It's mentally challenging. You may get check, check, check up here for certain parts, and other parts it's like, but I didn't expect this.
And the worst part that can happen to you is not see the reality, and like I said, make a checklist and mark that person fits that checklist, and then a few, let's say, months later, a year, 2, 3 later, then you realize you're like, oh crap, like this person is actually the opposite of my checklist.
Yeah.
And guess what? Now you wasted your time. So you might as well be honest and truthful with yourself and actually be open-minded to get to know the actual person, not the idea that you have of them.
In other words, don't say all the things that you think that they like to hear just to get in with
or
them.
justify their behavior.
Yes.
If they're having a bad behavior, let's say you're dating this person and they all of a sudden like stop like calling you or texting you or come up with constant excuses as to why they're not seeing you, that's for a reason. And you shouldn't be validating what they're doing or trying to excuse them or well he's tired from work. Well, we all work. We all get tired from work. Oh, well, maybe she's busy. She came up. She had something to do with her family, blah, blah, blah. We all do. Trust me.
We're all busy.
Exactly.
Please.
So don't, and that's just an example of one type of relationship. This happens on friendships as well.
Yes.
So just don't excuse their behavior. Don't you have to be real. If this person is flaky, and don't waste your time.
The truth always comes out, and my thing is my silence will then be will be my voice. So if I'm in it all the way. But if you keep putting me down and you keep putting me down, understand that at some point I'm not gonna reach back out. I'm not gonna do all this. You have to understand that you treat people the way you want to be treated, and not everyone understands that. And that long list, just to rewind to a few previous point, it's no more a long list. As you age and you get in your 30s and more, maybe for some of our friends, your list goes from what you once upon a time thought it was this long to just basic, simple things.
Yesterday over dinner, Alvin was asking me, he was like, well, what the ideal person will be for you?
Yeah.
And I was like, look, Alvin, if I was in my 20s, I would have said this, I would have said that, I would have said that. And I told him, this is, my list went from this to this. And just for you people, I know y'all are curious, right? My list went from this to this. So I told Alvin, all I ask is that they work hard for what they have, that they're honest, respectful, loyal, communication, and if I feel physical attraction, that's all I ask.
And for me, it's simple. Accept me for who I am and the energy that I bring. Because your energy is what makes you you. If I lose my energy, I lose my smile. I'm not me. So either you accept it or you don't. And like you said, if they don't respond back or through the further down the line that it's not reciprocal, I say thank you for doing this at the beginning, because now I have not invested and wasted my time, and I treat people the way I want to be treated.
People in your early 20s, listen to what we're saying.
Please.
We're not saying it to you because we are the perfect people on the other side of the screen. We're saying it to you because we wasted time in the past.
Oh God, yes. Lesson learned. A lot of time wasted, and not just in friendships. I look back at the amount of energy I gave into certain things, and
Ooh.
it was why fight so hard when they were showing me their true colors to begin with. If you didn't mean to do good and you're saying this, but your actions show me something else, your actions are everything. And it's okay to say that this is what I thought it was. We all make mistakes. No one's perfect. If someone came to me 20 years later or 15 years later and I haven't seen them, I will say hello to them. I will talk to them. That's just who I am.
Right.
But if what you do is up to you, but I control me. So you control your behavior, you control your destiny, you control all those relationships. And just remember, always be civil as best as you can be. Don't be ratchet in a club. Because people observe, people know, and people don't forget.
Don't be wretched at the club.
Sorry.
Okay, let me recover from that one.
I have witnessed things.
Well, with that being said,
Yes.
people, what we're basically trying to tell you is don't settle for those cold French fries relationships. Settle for the good fries, for the fries that bring you joy, happiness, that when you bite
Please.
into that, you're like, this doesn't just look good, this tastes good, this, smells good, and so on.
Be happy with yourself. That's really what I'm trying to say about from my point of view, because yourself is how you're going to attract the right energy. How long it takes to get that, it's the process, unfortunately. But you make connections through your journey. Like us being friends, thank God we can talk about these things.
And people, it's okay for you to withdraw from certain friendships. It's
Yes.
okay for you to withdraw from certain relationships, from certain people that you maybe been dating for 2-3 weeks. If you don't feel it, it's okay to back up. We're all entitled and have the right to do what's best for us, not what's best for somebody else.
But I will add, as long as you're respectful and
Correct.
forthcoming. Just remember, how would you feel if somebody backed off and you're like, you don't know what you did? But if they have to say, hey Marlon, like, I haven't heard from you in a while and I know we're all busy, is there something specific? They will appreciate you being upfront.
So with that being
So.
said, guys, we wish you a great week. And Alexa, play that French fry song. She never listens to me.
French Fry
Oh.
by Captain Crane from Apple Music.
Ooh. That's not it.
That is not the song!
The song is the one from the intro. Freaking Alexa. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Never boring.